You gotta bend it harder. You gotta bend it like Beckham. Bend it. There you go. Oh, no.
No, it does not like it.
Are you stepping over the...
Yes. I can't go under it.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Are you still burnt?
Not burn anymore.
Oh, there you go. You got it. Look at that.
It's still off. It's not centered.
Podcast, engage.
We're already rolling, so...
Okay, good.
We're already engaged.
We're engaged. We're ready to go.
I'm engaged.
Guys, I found out I was very annoyed about something today.
What were you annoyed about?
So we got these new iMacs for,
Oh,
holy
shit.
What is this? Chocolate Exóticos de Colombia. Café coffee. Dark chocolate covered coffee beans. Look at this. 40 grams.
I know you're not into, like, well, I figured, like,
Coconut.
chocolate is the exception because it's like you could have, like, one.
What the fuck
Yeah,
is goldenberry?
These
It's
are
not like coffee.
these are coffee beans, right? So,
I thought they were, honestly, I thought they were just chocolate. I thought they were just dark chocolate flavored.
dark
things.
chocolate covered golden berries. What are
goldenberries?
It's time to look up golden berries.
It's time for our second round.
There's one that's coffee. There's others.
Oh no!
Or cocoa.
Our
I
pictures
actually
have
have not
fallen.
tasted
Pictures
these.
just fell.
I just bought them because I was like, here's the
Where
thing.
did you get these?
In Colombia.
Oh, Colombia. Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's very hard to shop for boys in a touristy situation. It's very difficult.
I'm sorry.
Because you guys don't need keychains.
No.
No.
And you guys don't want.
Hey, bulk up my
keychains.
pants.
You don't need purses and
Guys,
things like that. Those,
Talking about bulking up your pants. I hate this.
That's why I
Hey,
have
wallet.
this.
I need to
It's
grab
so-
that
that's
before
so
we leave.
thick.
like there's nothing
That wallet
in
is
like
too
a
thick.
shop where it's like if you know you want to get something that's actually useful and like needed, like it's very difficult.
This is good. This is what it
So I
sounds
was like, I'm gonna bring back snacks.
The 9 wonderful benefits of golden berries. What are golden berries? Golden berries, scientifically known as Physalis peruviana,
They're
are
from
small yellowish berries that have originated from South America. Oddly enough, golden berries are more closely related to tomatoes and eggplants than other berries. They're approximately the
I
size
haven't
of a
tasted
marble.
any of these, so I don't know if they're good.
Well, last week we had our first.
Live? Not live.
No, not live. We had not
In the
reaction.
field.
On location.
Response. We had a response. We ate shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that,
Yeah.
and it looked real good, and I was very jealous of the shrimp.
So now we're gonna.
I wasn't jealous of any of the other parts of your story. I was like, ooh, that's a lot more puking than I thought your adventure would be.
Oh, yeah. A lot more puking
So
than
I'm like,
any of us
"Meh."
anticipated. Okay, so they have antioxidant content.
I was going to say, like, where we stayed late.
When we stay late.
Welcome back to We Stayed Late. My name is Luis Gonzalez.
I'm Spenser Starke.
And I'm Starline Hodge.
and we work for a company that makes digital media content.
And we barely talk about it.
We barely talk
That's
about
what
it.
this was supposed to be about. That's what the
Listen,
show's supposed
Nope.
to be.
We've evolved just like human beings, just like you.
It's really difficult to figure out how to pitch the show because people go, "What's your podcast about?"
We're just people talking.
But
Yeah, we just
that's
talk
not a
about
good.
stuff.
That's not a good marketing.
No, it's
pitch.
not. Well, you know what? Fuck them. There's nothing we can do about it. We can't corner ourselves right now. Maybe in a year or two, we'll be more refined. But right now, we're in the raw, wild west of the
We just
podcast era.
talk about things that are important to us.
Yeah, techie, nerdy, Harry Pottery, Disney. What else?
Golden
Can
berries.
we say we just because we don't even really discuss pop culture outside of like
We have
what we
specific fandoms.
Yeah, but there's nothing.
We're a
that
pop
we-
culture podcast.
Pop culture. Okay, can we say
Yeah.
that now? Be right.
No, really?
Pop
Hey,
culture.
But we don't talk
podcast.
about the Kardashians.
They're
Let us
not-
know in the Slack what we are.
What
Yeah,
are
give
we?
Give us a log line so when we talk to people outside of our like field, because this keeps happening now because I've been bumping onto other people's like podcasts and shows, and they're like,
Yep.
"What do you do?" and promote. So I promote Ruby, and then I go, "Oh, I should promote our podcast."
Yeah.
And then I get blank on like what it's about, and I'm like, "Oh shit, how do
Yeah.
I?" Like so,
Yep.
I would like
It's a pop culture podcast. Tell us if you have a better pitch. What are we? Tell us.
Guys,
And we'll give you a good high five.
ever since I've been talking about these golden berries, I've been trying to open up this bag. I just opened them.
I was gonna say I'll open it.
So first response, these are fucking hard to open.
Okay. Good to know. Fucking hard to open.
Very typical chocolate.
Go ahead and taste it for me. Tell me how it is.
It's kind of sweet.
Antioxidant
Whoa!
content.
There's a sweetness.
Anti-inflammatory properties. Weight loss. Cholesterol balance. Cancer prevention. Diabetes control. Improve liver and kidney health. Improve vision. Boost immunity. There's also a word of caution. Avoid eating unripe golden berries as that can be poisonous.
Uh-oh. This might be my last podcast. This is very sweet.
It's
and
very tart.
It's very
tart.
poisonous.
It hits you with the tartness at the very end. I'm gonna crack open the chocolate
And
I'm
see
gonna
what you see what it is. Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
It's just a berry.
Yeah, but what's the color?
But it's not
of
actually a
there?
berry. It's more related to eggplant or.
It's like
It
a
kind
little,
of looks like a little raisin.
it looks like a raisin mixed with a strawberry.
Interesting. What's today? 30th.
I'm ripping apart the chocolate that creates this golden berry chocolate.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it looks like a
It's like a little tart little berry.
little berry raisin tomato.
Tomato.
Really small.
Guys, we're using a new program to record our podcast. Just so you know.
Are we?
Are you using Adobe?
Using Adobe Audition, we've moved up in the world.
Guys, we've used GarageBand.
You've
We've
used Audacity.
Wow, we were in sync. And now
We've worked together for too long.
Now we're using Audition.
Audition is actually really cool. I really like it. Hopefully, I like it after this. But from what I've seen of it, I really like it so far. So that's good. Just a little behind the scenes. Ooh, you got. Oh yeah,
Star's
Fountain.
back. So
Hi.
I was really. This is gonna be a quick rant. I'm gonna give it
Please.
2 minutes.
Please, no. Please.
So we got these new iMacs.
That's right. You were talking about
did.
this.
They look exactly the same. So we got these new iMacs, and I saw in the corner because we've been moving around desks, and someone took over my desk, and so I just moved to another spot, and I was right next to the keyboards.
Oh, is that officially your new spot?
Well, it doesn't matter because
yeah.
things are going to change.
Yeah.
Not us.
Exciting
We're
changes.
going to be here.
We won't be
Well, we won't-
here.
we won't-
Here.
This is gonna change.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I
The
haven't thought
letter.
about that.
Oh, I have it. I'm gonna go
Okay,
grab it. You
but
guys
that-
keep
Okay,
talking.
I've got the
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I feel like you're going to sympathize with this. Okay, the thing is,
Oh, wait.
okay, look. Do you know what Apple gave us? They gave us these small, tiny-ass keyboards.
They give you the mini keyboards?
They gave us the mini keyboards.
Fuck
And you know
those
how
guys.
ridiculous. You know how hard it is to
Yeah,
edit
it's
videos
ridiculous.
and do professional things
On a
and
tiny
design on a
keyboard.
tiny ass keyboard. You don't have room for your fingers. You don't have room to make shortcuts and jump around. You have to smush your hand and get what's that called?
Arthritis?
Carpal tunnel and arthritis. Why not?
Arthritis.
Carpal arthritis.
Carpal arteritis.
And it's bullshit. And the new iMacs, the new laptops.
Yeah.
They don't give you that long extension cable anymore.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like they just give you, like you know how it's a 2-part thing. You plug it into your laptop.
Oh, you mean like the brick? They just
The
give you
brick.
the brick. They don't
They
give
just
you
give
the
you the-
extension cable.
Exactly. There are a
God
bunch of
damn it.
jabronis over there at Apple, just like, fuck them.
Because
Let's
they
give them the
want
short.
they want everybody to be wireless.
No, but we have a wireless long keyboard.
Yeah,
and
that was
it's-
for me
mwah,
because
mwah, it's
somebody
beautiful.
spilled water.
Yeah.
Not somebody that we know. We don't know who it was. Legit don't know who
We
it
We
don't
was.
know
actually
who it was.
don't. We don't
we
know
don't.
who it
No,
was.
somebody spilled water on the keyboard. There was water
Oh.
all over the keyboard when I came in the morning, and
get a new
like in the
keyboard.
in the keyboard. So and it didn't work anymore. So
Anyway,
Oh.
it really.
this is a while ago. Though.
It's bothering me. There's a lot of, I don't know, dumb moves that Apple's making. I feel like they're being kind of jerks.
Yeah,
But here's the thing.
don't
Apple's
They're being
Shit about you.
cheapskates.
Apple's known for
They're being
doing
cheapskates.
that. They
They're
do
being-
that all the time.
No, there was a time in 2005, 2008, 2010 when they were delivering everything that you need. HDMI cables into your laptop, everything that you need. Keep it simple, keep it nice. Now it's like, okay, well now you got to pay extra to have that bonus. Before they had everything in the box.
Because
Everything
they don't want
need.
you to have all
Do you
those
remember?
things.
Do you remember there was a Apple PC commercial, and it was
Justin Long?
Justin Long, and yeah. And
and what's his name? What's the other
And
guy?
John Hodgman?
John
Hodgman.
Hodgman.
And it was like, to open up a PC, you have to have this and this and this and this. A Mac, just take it out of the box, and you have everything you need. And now that's not becoming the case. Now you have to buy and go to the store to get all these extra things.
Well, it was also,
Because-
it was also at the time it had everything you need if you weren't gonna if you were just using it as a computer, not as like a work tool.
As a work tool, though, it gave me everything I needed. Like
Yeah, but you were
long
like
cord.
beginner. You were beginner editor back then.
Oh no. I've been a pro since I was a little fetus.
I was saying, like, yeah, that's because like it was.
Well, for example, like just certain things I've like been able to expect from Apple. You know,
'Cause
like small things,
technically-
long cables,
Technically,
long
you could
keyboards.
edit. You could edit with everything that's in that box. It's
Yeah.
just not comfortable for you.
What do you-
But it's still the exact. Like you could still do the things you can do.
No, but it's not set
It's just
up for
not
professionals. Professionals are not going to edit on that little keyboard.
No, they're not.
But
not
the new kids are.
No, they're not. What a bunch of
jabronis.
jabronis. I'm pissed. It's okay. You can go get that letter.
Okay,
That's all I
I'm gonna go
needed.
get
I
it.
just needed to rant a little bit.
It does suck, though. Okay, I'll be right back.
Thank
Open
you.
up the cocoa one.
The cocoa one. Do we want the cocoa one? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can
I've
open it
been
up a lot
waiting to
faster.
eat these, and I just have them in my bag. I'm like, I can't eat these. They need to be opened on the show.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, we got a vamp. We got a vamp.
Just tear it.
I cannot tear these. So I just finished. Well, I can't get in the Harry Potter discussion right now because I need Spencer too.
You need Spencer. Spencer needs to see your reaction to it. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on Prisoner of Azkaban.
The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh man, the last podcast when you were talking about it,
Oh yes.
and like I was like, oh, I'm kind of glad I'm not there because my face would have given so much away.
Apparently, Spencer on the YouTube version.
He looks at the camera.
He looks at the camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I would have, but it would have been so obvious with me. I would have like, you would have said the thing, and I would have been like, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And I would have just like tried very hard not to like.
I was kind of right when I said it. What I said.
A little bit.
It was gonna come back in the end and save the day.
You did,
And
yeah.
it happened.
Yeah.
We're talking about Hermione.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but we don't want to get sidetracked. Let's get to this letter first. If you want to find out more, you better wait.
Here we go.
This is for
What is this from? I don't even know what this is.
Cocoa.
Oh, I remember what this
Cocoa
is.
is open.
So what's happening?
We
got a letter.
The coconut one is.
Oh,
good.
our internet just went out, by the way. So it's exciting.
Oh. Do we need the internet?
I am always afraid
Nah,
about
Okay.
we'll
that
be fine.
when the internet.
As long
goes
as we're
down.
not live streaming. We're not live streaming, right?
No, we don't have 1,000 followers on YouTube.
Hey,
we can't live stream yet.
Yeah.
what are
maybe
you kidding
subscribe
me?
so we could maybe live stream on YouTube. Otherwise, we're probably gonna move over
guys,
to Twitch
we
for
have
that.
we have so many people listening to the podcast, and we have like barely anybody subscribed on YouTube.
You don't have to watch it. Just a little subscribe.
Just press that button for us, please.
Yeah,
And then
it's
we can
insane.
do more things.
Look,
It actually makes me. I stay up at night crying because
he
I'm
stays
so
up
sad.
late.
I
Okay, I kind of hate myself.
I
for
stay
that.
late and I
but-
cry.
But no, once we get to 1,000, you can stop. We don't. I understand. I don't like pushing.
Or you don't have to.
I don't wanna keep
So
pushing it.
Roberto in the Slack sent this like in December,
Roberto.
and I feel bad because it took forever to go to the PO box to get it, and then when I got it, I forgot I had the letter. It just lived in my car, and we went through so many podcasts without like showing this. So this is a letter from Roberto. Thank you for sending stuff to the PO box. Anybody who does that, remind me, and if I don't talk about it on the show, send
Remind
a
us
little
again.
reminder like, hey. Was like just a hey, did you forget? Because I probably did. So yeah, so we got this.
But it wasn't
letter.
even open until just a couple days
Am I
ago, and
reading
it
it?
was
Yeah.
real nice.
Okay, this is from Roberto.
Ooh, these are good.
Hello, folks. My name is Roberto from the hashtag Slack. I am sending you guys a map of the New York City subway system.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully, you guys like it enough to hang it on the art wall.
There it is,
Unfortunately,
upside down.
I couldn't get a frame for it. That's okay. You don't need to send the
Oh no!
frame.
Don't send the frame.
That would've been
That's
expensive.
That's way too much money.
That would have been too expensive.
And also, yeah, just sending it is nuts.
That's good enough. Thanks for making great content and sharing it with internet strangers. To 1,000 subs. Oh, wow. Look at he says it. To 1K subs.
Oh, well, it'd be nice if we got there, huh? It'd be nice.
Look, he wrote this a while ago. We still didn't make it. P.S. Sorry for the horrible handwriting. It's amazing.
The
dude.
handwriting's so good.
It's
That's
really
way
good.
better than my
I feel
handwriting.
like this is like if I had to write this, I have to really concentrate to write it. All right, enhance and zoom.
Spencer.
I feel like I'm living in New York.
Yeah, and that's from Roberto. Thank you.
Thanks, Roberto.
Thank you.
Uh,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So we would hang this up, but we aren't staying here. That's a whole discussion that we will have.
can't have it now.
once we can, which we
Once
can.
we can, but we're, yeah, this
We
is
aren't- the
things
podcast
are
is going away.
changing.
We're not leaving.
but like not like in a bad way. At least I hope it's not. a bad
No, we're not leaving. It's just
The-
we're not going to be stuck in this little corner anymore.
Yeah, we'll be somewhere else, but in a good way. So we are not going to get this set up. Yeah, she crosses her fingers. It'll be fine. So
We'll be somewhere. We'll find a home for us.
yeah. So we'll find a home. We have to find a home in the new place we're going to be. So let's just go ahead and just.
I have
hold
a
this up
feeling the
over.
new home is going to be all of our apartments.
No.
We
They're
can't
just
be-
like we're going to do a show at somebody's apartment instead.
We can't hold this for the whole podcast.
Nope. We can't.
I'm going to have
We
arm
just set
cramps.
it down.
That kind of works. Nope. There.
All right. So let's continue.
Let's continue on to the podcast.
See, if you're subscribed to the YouTube, you would see that visual gag.
You would see some hijinks and shenanigans happening
That was
right
a
now.
real good visual gag. Let's be honest.
So we got some questions.
Well, our internet's out,
We don't have questions.
so we can't look up the questions.
Oh no, we just got like somebody like remind. I forgot. Wait, I have a question
Yeah.
from it
Yeah.
because I was asked to remind Luis because somebody asked you the question and then
me a
I guess you
question.
forgot. What was the question?
See, that's the.
Oh,
biggest
it was
question.
about collaboration.
That's the one.
That's the
I just
question.
thought about that too. Yeah.
Okay, so we can't answer a singular question.
It's
Yeah,
been a
the
while.
internet might come back too. But let's do it.
what
What's the
was-
question?
It's like, how do you work with people, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was,
like
yeah,
how you
it
work
was
well with
something
people?
about like how do you collaborate on projects?
That's what it was.
That's the question. I don't remember who asked the question because I don't have it on my screen right now.
Sorry.
But that was the question, and it was from the Slack, and it was thanks for
So,
reminding me to remind Luis.
why? I mean,
About the
it
question.
reminded me so I could remind you guys, I think, is what happened.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are you asking us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some people suck. You just have to deal with it, I guess. Like,
Let me drink my tea.
some people are amazing to work with, and some people suck.
Well, like you and Star.
Yeah,
How do
we
we
work
work
because
together?
we just keep going. I
Yeah.
mean,
We're both obsessive. That's why.
yeah, which works out.
Yeah.
And he does the part I hate.
And she does the part I can't do.
And
Ooh,
so
look
it
at that
so it
combo.
works. That's easy there.
Yeah.
But
I think it's also a lot of like we've had some discussions where we have differing opinions on things, and I think it just comes down to like, for me, it's like this was something that was your baby. So at the end of the day, if we have stuff that I'm like, I feel this way and you feel that way, at the end of the day, it's your like it comes back to you.
Yeah,
But a lot of times there's not like we don't have that often, but I know there's been discussions
there's
where
been like little point, and it's always the same argument.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
always on the same thing, which is, and it's because we have different tastes in a thing.
Yep.
But it works out because in the end, there's balance. I feel.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So which is essentially, at least for us, I like low stakes, and Spencer likes super high stakes.
Yep.
And
So
so
we get medium
our
stakes.
arguments are always essentially trying to get us back to here.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the balance starts going like this again, and
Yeah.
we're like, no,
We gotta get we gotta get balanced.
and then we get back to here.
Well, like for like one example is the and we can talk about it because it's not like a huge plot point, but in Ruby there was a part where somebody
somebody gets eaten by a snake.
yeah, there's like a giant flying monster.
Snake monster
Snake
currently
monster.
going on right now, probably still when this podcast
Right.
comes out. 'Cause
And-
it's a lot of action scenes.
Yeah, there's
my
a
God.
lot of action scenes. I'm killing Star, slowly killing Star. But there will be a point where things are resolved, and when that happens, that person will not. They will like reappear. They will like out
It was
of the
very important to me that no one actually like
dies
in this thing
because he basically
gets-
the thing comes down on top of him.
he gets like attacked and swallowed whole, and like the way Spencer wrote it, that guy's gone. Like,
Yeah,
that's a dead man.
He got fucking eaten,
And-
which for me is like cool because like oh shit, there's actual danger.
But for me, I'm like, no. Now that means we've let like. To me, the stakes for Ruby are it's very much like about the characters, and the world is magical, but the magic is not a big deal in the world itself.
Yeah.
So if someone dies from a big old monster, all of a sudden it's like it makes the stakes super high. And in my head, like the world would be like there'd be an investigation, there'd be this, and it would like take me away from like the story of the characters.
Yeah.
Because somebody died.
Right.
So I didn't want anyone
It's a
to
death of
like
somebody.
die. So for the sake of like the way I think I explained it was like the monster's more like a magical storm. Like people are highly inconvenienced.
Right.
Like it still sucks.
So when he
Because
reappears,
things are destroyed and it
he just got
sucks.
like yeah, he comes out of the
But
thing and he's like covered.
He's just
yeah.
gonna be covered in like goo.
Goo.
Because I didn't want him to die, but it still sucks. The whole festival's being destroyed. There's
Yeah.
still a lot of money. There's still damage. There's still stakes.
There's still stakes.
Just not
death stakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Balance.
interesting.
Balance. Because I wouldn't have wanted anybody to get attacked at all. That's my thing. But to me, like, there would be no, like, there wouldn't be a monster.
wouldn't be a monster.
There wouldn't have been a monster. So Spencer brought a monster.
I did bring a monster, but it's like for her to feel like for things to be. I guess for me, it was like the promise of the premise was like these are witches, and I want to see witches do badass shit.
Yeah.
So it's like you introduce a thing that makes them do badass shit, and all of a sudden you have the promise of the premise happening, which is what I really wanted. But especially for the first
for the first issue.
for the first issue, or for the first for the first
Chapter.
like having somebody die is pretty
No, not
intense.
chapter. Part for the first part.
For the
Because we have
first
parts
part.
and then chapters.
There's lots of
Yeah. Yeah.
fun.
And you have
Anyway, that's
sagas.
collaboration.
But yeah.
But you also collaborate when you were making Roots.
Yeah, I collaborated with an artist there, and
But that was your baby.
But that was
your
my baby.
So how was that?
Well, so the guy that I was working with was amazing, first of all, and
How did you find him?
I found him on a site called Upwork, I think. But like any of those freelance sites, you can find people on. And one of the things that I was very particular about is that I needed to have some art that I do. I'm fine having people from any. Have I told this before? This whole thing?
No,
I don't think
I
so.
don't
I don't think so.
But I'm fine with some art being done by people that are not from here because it's a lot cheaper because they have a lower cost of living generally.
Right.
So like for Planet Born, the guy doing it is in Colombia. So when I pay him, it's worth more.
Oh
than
yeah,
it is
and
here.
realizing that money. Okay, so I figured out the money rate.
Yeah.
So 20,000 Colombian pesos is essentially $7.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
But
so,
their stuff is more expensive. Like
so,
it
like,
isn't like
so everything-
$7.
No, right.
Yeah, so
pesos
everything's
for-
costing like thousands of dollars. So you have to sit there and do like a weird Harry Potter conversion thing where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, like this thing is
I don't think I read that part of the book.
This thing is $120,000. I need to divide that by 20, and then whatever that is, multiply it by 7.
Yeah.
And then I know roughly what that costs in like US dollars.
I just get my phone.
It just took a second. But even now with the phone, I'm like dividing things by 20 with the phone. I'm
No,
like,
but like
all
an
right.
app.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have internet.
Oh.
You
yeah,
gotta do it
when you're on
all by
vacation,
hand.
you gotta find that. You gotta find that Wi-Fi. That was part. Yeah.
But yeah, so working with him, like, and his communication was pretty good. But with Roots, it was like so particular that I really need somebody that spoke English and spoke English really well, so that I could convey what I wanted because I knew it was going to be difficult, even with somebody who spoke the same language.
Yeah.
Like with this stuff, I could be a little more loose because it didn't have to convey. Oh yeah, it didn't have to convey.
I was talking about Planet Born,
Yeah, Planet Born. Sorry. With Planet Born, I didn't have to.
the card game.
I didn't have to like convey story necessarily. It just
It
had
just
to be
had to
posed
like
figures.
it was strictly more visual than it was emotional.
Yeah, and so it wasn't narrative really, and so you could do, it didn't have to.
Was it the same artist or different?
No, different artists. This guy was in Colombia, and then I had a guy do touch-ups on the cards, and he's from the Philippines. So yeah. So I mean, they're from all over, but that's okay because it's just sort of standard art.
You found them all through the freelance website.
Yeah, freelance websites. And they're great. They're usually great to work with. There are some people that are not that you like contact and they're like not nice. Whether it's that they aren't nice or that they can't speak English well enough to like
Have like
have a
Yeah.
conversation. So they seem like they're very not abrupt, but like just short.
blunt.
Yeah,
Right.
blunt. Where they just type K when you tell them something, and you're like,
The
Does that bother you?
lack of tact. You don't like K? You don't like K as a response?
You're one of those people.
Oh no, I might have said that
I
to
know,
you.
me
No,
too.
no, no,
I might have
no,
done
no,
that
no,
too.
no,
'cause
no.
Although I think I
In-
usually say K with a thumbs up or cool or do
in
my little, like,
conversation,
Uh-huh.
it's fine.
Yeah.
When I'm giving creative feedback and
Oh,
like
I see.
things that need to have a conversation where I'm
Uh-huh.
like, hey, what do you think about doing this? I'm thinking that this might be a cool color, but I'm fine if there's exploration. Like,
Oh, I see.
do you have any cool ideas for this? Like, this is how I think it should be, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
and you're like, okay.
That doesn't further what I'm.
No, get the fuck out. So
Oh
anyway,
man, I kind of want to do that to people now.
oh, it hurts so bad.
But
the worst.
But when you found these people, you already had like, you already looked for images that you wanted, like to get the feel that you.
Oh
wanted.
yeah, like if you're gonna work with somebody doing this kind of stuff, like you need to.
The more you know, like
The more you know of what you want.
from
right?
the artist
Like the taste.
perspective, if you're hiring an artist, the more you know about what you want, the better. And like
if I brought you
and if
samples of things
if you,
that I like.
examples of things you
Yeah.
like. Oh my god, that
Well, yeah, like
helps
Star and I
so
collaborate
much.
on decks for stuff all the time.
When we do stuff here, it's just like, okay, this is this show that we're trying to pitch.
Right.
You know, and it feels like this. And I go, cool. And I always go, if there's any look you have in mind, let me know.
Which is the problem here, because people will give you just a general like idea or tone.
Yeah.
But the way that they perceive that idea and tone could be very different
than what I'm imagining what they think.
Yes.
Like
so like
a lot
building
of
a Pinterest
freelance
page and those kinds of things
is
really
just
help.
going, especially in the beginning, it's really hard. But once you get to know people, you go, I know what kind of style you like. I know what kind of style you like. And you can kind of work through that. And that was great at SourceFed.
Yeah.
Like knowing, I was like, okay, like when Ricky asks for something, he likes things like this. When Len asks for something, he likes things like this. Like it was good to like go, like I knew what people liked. The hardest person, will say, not calling you out a little bit, Will, you're...
Will Haynes?
Yeah. Because he likes things in a particular way. And then you think you're giving it, and then he's just like, I don't know. And then there's no like additional thing. But in the end, when you actually got like to the point where it came out, it looked great. So like, final product always nice, but
Maybe
it
he
was
was
like
self-discovering on the way.
We were just trying to figure out what was in his brain and what was making him tick was tricky.
By the way, I think it's Ricky's birthday today.
It is Ricky's
Happy
birthday.
Ricky.
So
it won't be his birthday.
It won't be your birthday
out.
when this comes out. But everybody go tweet at him happy birthday.
Yeah.
This late. Like when this comes out. 2 days late.
Happy belated
No wonder why
birthday.
so many people don't say anything about this podcast. Just everybody tweet him.
Just tweet at
happy
him.
birthday 2 days late.
I don't know his handle.
At Ricky Mizuno.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe RMIZU.
I don't know. Google
Anyway,
it.
you could look it up. Yeah, Google. Bing it.
Bing it. Bing it, baby. We found out we had this link.
Yes, that's right. We
should-
don't have internet.
Oh, damn it.
You can look up on our phones.
Can we?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We have internet on our phones.
Barely in this room though.
What else do I want to add to this collaboration
Oh
discussion?
yeah. We should talk. We should finish that up.
Don't you you make shorts, don't you?
I don't know what I do anymore. I have a problem. I jump around too much. I can't settle down. I'm going through a crisis. It's okay. I'll find my way out of the storm soon, everybody. No, but when I went home, I had some friends who were stuck doing kind of like 9 to 5 work. Not like this. We do the same, but not as creative. They don't have like a creative outlet.
Yeah.
So we ended up making this like sort of writer's workshop over the phone. So we FaceTime, and it was really hard to kind of like set up the way that we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So originally, I think the way we kind of zeroed into our style or our whatever process is we would get images that would inspire us to write about certain things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I work too.
So we had a Google Drive, and we had just like images, like just we put them out there, and then I took one image, and then I just wrote something, and now it's kind of being passed around. So it's there's 3 of us. So every month, I guess we're gonna have one sort of story done, and we're kind of going into it like, listen, don't expect us to like make something out of it. We're just kind of like practicing. Because it's part of the journey.
You're just letting your brain be creative for the sake of being creative.
And if you, especially I feel like at this point with them, with me, you know, not putting that stress on us is important because it allows like just.
But you still need a little bit of like pressure to do it.
To do it, right? So every week we do meet each other, and we kind of have like through FaceTime, and we talk. And so yeah, it's going through the 3rd round of stuff.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And then at the end of it, I'll probably show it to you just so you can see it. And it probably won't be perfect, but that's not what matters. What matters is
the
like
intention isn't that it needs to be polished. It's just like I made a thing.
right, exactly. So it's kind of like accepting failure and just learning from it and moving through it. So
Which are really hard lessons to learn.
you know,
The hardest lessons to learn,
yeah,
actually.
I'm in. Yeah,
be fair.
It's tough. It is hard. Especially the things that are closer to you that you care about.
Yep.
You know, so like certain things.
Oh,
like,
that's when you learn. Don't care about anything.
I know, but when you really care about something and you want to be good at it, and then it's like, I don't want to fail, but this writing thing, I'm like, I don't care if I fail or not. It's not a big deal because I don't have any.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice,
Yeah.
but it's not like my, whatever.
You just gotta like jump into the waters.
I know.
Just gotta
That's
just.
the worst.
jump.
I'm
It's
super
hard.
not that type of person.
Oh, you just gotta do
I'm
it.
That's
why you're
love it.
Gryffindor.
That's what I like to do.
I put my feet in and get used to that temperature. Then I go a little bit, and I get used to that temperature. And
I
I go a
just
little bit.
cannonball straight in.
I just
Full
I'm a
force.
like inch by inch kind of.
I get
person.
overwhelmed with a lot of things that I have to do.
Sometimes that happens to me too, and I just have to. At the moments where I get overwhelmed, like you played the Toy Story module that I've made.
Yes.
And so I've sort of made. We've talked about it before, but I've made the RPG thing, and just to be able to tell cool stories in worlds that already exist or maybe don't already exist. But it's fascinating. I was talking to you about this because I found myself like I was doing a lot of writing. And then I found myself enjoying doing a lot of game design because I was able to create something that wasn't just a thing that people would read and then put down and throw away, or put down and sit in their shelf for a while, or just be done with.
Yeah.
It was something that people could take back out and use over and over again to tell new stories. So that's why I really enjoyed sort of, and then I also like the puzzle of mechanics.
Right.
Like I like figuring out how things work. And so
Like a crazy person.
so that was fascinating to me. And so when I started to get into, the whole, like, how do you actually design the mechanics of a game? I mean, I've been playing games my whole life, so it's not like it was a really difficult thing to understand, but also just to peel back the curtain and go, what is making this tick? Why does it work? Or why doesn't it work sometimes? Right. And so then when we started playing D&D, the first game we played, I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted. Because basically what it is it is a game that is a story.
Oh, yeah, that's why it's so popular. But also, like, not mainstream, because it's all of those things. There's puzzles.
Yeah.
There's the last... Okay, we all played D&D together last Sunday.
Yeah.
Finally, like, the three of us in, like... Because it was always, like, broken up. Like, somebody was gone or...
Yeah.
So we all played. And there was a part in this campaign where there was, like, you had to actually solve physical puzzles. And my brain checked the fuck out. I was like, oh, no.
I was so excited.
I was like, our DM, I was like, she's for real. She's giving us real puzzles. And I was just like, oh. Okay, good thing my character's super not into this anyway.
Yeah.
Because I could have been
I didn't
playing
know
a
that was the
character.
thing. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I could have been playing a character that could have been into it. But me
Right.
personally is like, oh, I'm not good at puzzles. I don't want to do, like, puzzles. I just want to get to the story. But it was still super fun.
Yeah.
Because we figured it out.
Yeah.
After
I'm just
after a bit.
I'm just a naive paladin, so I was all about it. I was so excited by it. But
Do
I
you
also
want to
like
describe
puzzles.
our characters?
Yeah,
Is
we
that-
should. We should talk about
We
it.
should. Do I
Okay.
go? Who goes? Okay,
Yeah,
everyone's
you
looking
go
at me.
first.
I'll go first. Hello, my name is Gimbly Bum. And I'm a gnome barbarian. So I'm a tiny little boy. I'm at 2'5". And I have barbaric tendencies because this is what happened. As a little boy, some bandits stole me away and took a bunch of little gnomes into a little hut, and we were forced to make watches because gnomes are very good at building things. So we were kind of slaves. And then I broke out with my little mouse friend. And then
You got a little mouse friend.
I got a little mouse friend. And then I stumbled upon a barbaric village where I picked up some barbarian tendencies.
Nice.
And that's me. I'm Gimbly Bum. I'm a small barbarian who holds a heavy-ass warhammer.
Yeah, we had the same Warhammer, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The coolest thing is I get to rage, and that raises my points.
Yeah. You
So-
get to hidey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I go into battle.
Harmontown Romance.
Harmontown. Yeah, go watch Harmontown if you
I
have
go into battle and I just like Hulk up this tiny ass little guy, and this is meant for like tall, big people, but not me.
Nope.
Yeah, that's me.
I am Katmere Brown Fury. I am a
What a name.
Yes, I'm a dwarf. I'm very fancy. I am a noble woman who had a little bit of controversy in her hometown, but she's now on her way, making her way in the world, wanting to have a global empire. She's very frou-frou. She has a glorious beard that she maintains, long hair, very curvy, but she's
already
a dwarf.
drawn yourself. You've already drawn yourself.
Oh, yeah. She's fabulous. She's essentially like real world equivalent, like early Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Trying to like
Build an empire.
Yeah, build an empire, but she's snooty as fuck and just very like. She doesn't care for Spenser's character too much at the moment.
Nope.
Because he's too naive.
Yeah.
She likes
My character's so
she
naive.
likes Luis's character because he builds watches, and
yeah.
she's just like, oh, you're useful.
Yeah.
And she could appreciate quality.
I don't even want to be part of this journey.
No.
No.
We had to force you.
Yeah.
like
I had my own mission. I'm finding the people who stole me, and I'm gonna kill them.
I'm just happy and like naive.
He's happy-go-lucky and goody-goody.
Yeah.
What's your
I'm like
character
a puppy.
name?
My character name is Torin Cultists.
Tor.
Tor for short. I'm a golden dragonborn.
What does that mean for the listeners? Dragonborn.
Big old
A
gold
dragonborn
dragon.
is like a big old gold dragon. They're like a humanoid dragon. They've got
Right.
like a human sort of physique, but with scales, and they're big, and they have like
Lizard man.
Yeah, lizard man kind of. And I actually have like red scales with like or I have gold scales with like a red undertone. Basically, I was like born into this clan, and we actually have similar stories, which is interesting.
Oh, really?
Which we'll find out.
Oh.
But
you're not. Maybe you shouldn't tell him.
no, it's okay. It's not like it's crazy secret,
Oh, okay.
but like we'll be because we can play that we don't know.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
meta, we can play that we don't know. But basically, like my first clear recollection is of my Dragonborn clan being attacked by a tiefling horde during which tieflings are like kind of demon people.
Yeah.
During it's called the Great Fire War of Ravensbluff.
Are you reading your bio right now?
Yeah, I have it in front of me. Because I want to be able to reference.
I was like, wow, he knows it really well.
Wow, you know it like to the T. And then I saw the eyes like. I was
Yes.
like, wait a second.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then if the
reading it.
cadence in his voice,
If
I was
I
like,
could pull out my backstory, I would have gone more all in.
Well, no, I just thought it was interesting because you were talking about your backstory, and I was like,
Right.
oh, I want to make sure I get it right.
right.
So, so basically, like, I was the last surviving member of my clan. I was a baby, and I was adopted by these humans, and taken into their.
I almost forgot the word human. I was taken in by these humans.
Right, classic Dragonborn.
Yeah.
And I was taken in by these humans, and they did not know that they were part of this giant crime family. And so that because I was a golden dragonborn, everybody thought of me as like the goody two shoes. And so I was essentially allowed to like go into places that they wouldn't be allowed to, and I was able to masquerade as sort of a good guy.
Yeah.
But I go in and then assassinate somebody.
Oh, shit.
From a very young age, because figure dragonborns are big even when they're
How
small.
the heck are you such a goody?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. You were
So,
very
yeah,
goody-goody.
So the reason why is because at about 13 years old,
Uh-oh.
I had the realization that what I was doing was wrong, and that I was like, I realized like I had killed people. Like I didn't know what that meant because from the time I was like 4, I'd been doing it.
Right.
And so, but basically, like this one of the sons of this man that my father was my human father was friends with, they had a falling out because he didn't give him what he owed him, what he thought he owed him. And so my father sent me to kill his son, who I was friends with.
Classic Fox and the Hound kind of story.
Right. And so I had to kill
story.
so I ended up having to kill a friend, which I wasn't used to.
You did kill him?
I had to kill my friend. And so I did, and as it happened, I realized like, oh, I'm not ever going to see this person again.
Damn.
Oh, this person is
When you realize what death really means.
right, because it was somebody that I knew as opposed to just some random person. And so after that, I
You fucked
left.
off?
I fucked off, and like never returned to them. And I made the decision to like spend my life finding good in people and helping everyone I could.
I'm
and
looking
doing
forward
everything
to
I
when
could to not
Katnir learns this
help
part
an
of your
innocent person.
backstory.
Yeah.
And so my quest is every paladin has some sort of quest, and my quest is actually a vengeance, and it's against myself.
Oh.
That's
What's a paladin again?
They're like goody
They're goody-goody, yeah.
preacher people.
What are like the opposites of paladins?
Tieflings. Well, that's a race.
No, there's
I mean,
there are paladins who they're paladins are people are like rule. They're
yeah,
people
they
who follow
abide by the rules.
So you could be a dark paladin who follows your own like evil rules.
yeah,
Right.
the
Kind of like Batman.
Well, Batman's more of a
more like-
chaos, like a, because he's still good.
Right.
More like there's just more like a Sith.
Yeah, like a Sith.
Oh, okay.
Like they follow very strict rules.
So like Sith and Jedi are both paladins.
Okay.
They just have different rules that they
Right.
follow.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're
And
very
you're
strict by
and you
those
go
rules.
and sometimes those rules will fuck you up because you're like, can we just break the rule? Like in that quest,
Yeah.
like me and Hannah's character, like we were ripping off some gentleman because he did not
Some
know the value.
kind old gentleman.
He did
who
not know
didn't
the value of the things he was
potions,
selling. And you know what? You got to make bank and not lose all your money.
and I had to leave.
I mean, sure, his wife died and knew all the stuff, but like it's fine. He was fine.
So I had to step out because I couldn't be a part of that.
So
I left.
this old man was like, "Hey, I'm selling
was
these
selling
things,
all
but
these
I don't know how
amazing
much.
potions."
I don't know how much the potions are, so I'm just gonna trust in you guys to tell me how much they're worth." So he sold us like $120 worth of perfume for like
$6. 6 gold
It was like
coins.
less than that. It was like $2.
It was $1. It was $1. It was 1 gold piece.
You bought stuff for
You
one
bought
gold
the
piece.
perfume for 1 gold piece.
No, I bought the perfume.
You bought like 5 things for like $6.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happened. You gave him 2
and then you were like,
for things that were
okay,
30.
I'll give you 2. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. You
I
gotta
had
get a
fucked
deal.
off at that
Here's
point.
the
I was
thing. Here's the
blessed.
thing. I came back at the very end and gave him a glass of the fairy sangria.
That's
like
true.
I like. Here's the thing. My character is very. Is just she's a lot. She's very extra.
Yeah, she's
That's the
very
good that
extra.
she's extra. But deep down, she has a heart of
yeah,
gold.
yeah.
She doesn't actually want bad things to happen to
Right.
people. So the little bit of conscience she felt, she didn't feel bad about getting a good deal, but she did feel bad that the guy lost his wife.
Yeah.
So she went back and gave him a little bottle, like a glass, essentially, or a jar
yeah.
of fairy sangria to be like, yeah,
That was
this
nice
is for
of you.
you.
That was nice.
I
of the
mean, I'm
character.
still gonna always get a deal.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the character. She's
for
not
sure.
gonna like. That's how she joined the quest.
Yep.
She was like listening to the quest being given, and the guy's like, "I will offer you 100 gold
And
pieces."
she's like,
and I was
she's
just like,
ripping you off.
ripping
yeah.
you off. You should get more. And you got some more things. You got
We
more
did.
potions.
We got more potions and things.
That was good. I didn't really need it, but I used it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost died.
You almost die. It's okay though.
Yeah.
You didn't die.
I
You're
did
fine.
die.
It's not a good D&D
There's a-
session if you don't almost die.
There's I do want to pull a move. I don't know when we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But since I'm so tiny and Spencer's so big,
Yes, we got to do the move. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but we got to do it.
at some point we're going to know when to do it.
Yep.
Spencer's going to pick me up and
And
throw
throw-
me. And then I'm going to have my warhammer and I'm just going to boom destroy them and rip their head off.
Or you're gonna get thrown. You're gonna roll.
or
a
you're going to
2
roll a 1 or 2,
one.
and it's
Yeah.
going to be a
Break my back.
disaster.
Yeah.
Oh!
But,
D&D's
you know,
great.
It's real fun. And then we played the Toy Story module that I wrote.
Yes, which
And-
is super fun.
and it was-
For some people who don't know,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Like,
What
do
Toy
you mean?
Story
like
is?
a Toy Story module? What do you mean?
So basically, the game that I
Spencer's making
that,
a
like,
game called Essence.
Essence. It's basically just like I took the core mechanics that you need to tell a story in a collaborative way, and I'm just applying them to worlds that we already know and love. So like one of them is Toy Story. So basically, I took the RPG and skinned it with Toy Story. So they got to choose toys that they wanted to be. They got to choose a toy they wanted to be and go on an adventure.
So was it the Toy Story characters or was
No.
it like any?
No,
all
it
new
was just
characters.
the world of Toy Story, not
And so that's how all of these will be, is like the world of
Right, like I'm not playing one of the main characters or side
right.
characters.
Yeah, because that feels like it feels like you don't get to make that character.
Right.
And if you do, it'd probably be more like you might bump
Interact.
into
Yeah,
one
like
of
the Harry
main
Potter one
characters.
that I wrote, we bump into Dumbledore, we bump into, like you bump into characters.
Mr. Potter.
Are you talking about Snape?
Yeah.
We don't. This is before Snape's time. But yes, you do
Why
bump
you
into
say-
characters like that.
Mr. Potter.
But like
Man,
you'll
I
bump
miss
into
Alan
people you know.
Rickman.
I know.
What
me
a
too.
what a turn in that
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, right? So good.
Do you want to talk about your Potter experience?
Yes,
now?
you should absolutely. I thought you already
We'll make it
touched on
quick.
it.
No, we didn't.
No, we were trying to save like the proper reaction when you were back in the room.
Got it. Okay.
I was just talking about
So
how
I was right
Yeah,
about Hermione.
Yeah, you were.
That they used it as a tool to save
And
everything
I
at
had
the
to
end.
bluff so hard about.
Because I thought the hippogriff. Was that his
I had
name?
to bluff
you
so hard
I
about the
thought he-
hippogriff.
I thought he was dead.
Like the Spencer was like, yeah, that was hard. I was just like, oh my god.
The reason why I was able to do it is because I remember the feeling I had when I was in that moment.
And you even sold it. You were like, I cried. And I was like, God damn, it was
I
really
did
yeah.
during that moment. I did before
I
I,
was-
finished
And
the
that- and
book.
that- when
I
you
think
hear
I was
just the
speed reading
axe-
through because I was just like, this cannot be, and I just kept going, and then
Because you hear people say that the stories get like a little bit more serious and real and darker, as it grows up. And so I'm like, oh, this is the first time we're seeing like real
like
consequences
real death. Yeah.
for their actions. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And things like like Ron
I was-
fucking snapping his leg.
So in
Yeah.
this book was the first time you cried for Harry Potter for a Harry Potter character thing.
No, I definitely cried. Like, I mean, I
But,
was
like,
young when they came out,
but like for like in book order, was this book 3 the first time you?
no, I think it was book 2 when Hermione got petrified.
Cared? Okay.
I think that was the
Oh,
first time I
yeah.
felt really sad because I had a huge crush on Hermione as a child.
Aww.
So that's why.
Okay, I will say the next book is the first time I cried in a Harry Potter.
Really?
Harry Potter book. Yeah.
4?
Is it-
You can't say.
God, yes.
The Order of the
You're
Phoenix?
No, don't even say anything. That's
I'm not
it.
saying anything.
Don't-
No,
not
I'm
even
Is it
reaction.
the Order of the Phoenix?
No, the
Goblet of Fire.
The Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, I will say I like just as in general
Yeah.
that book made me cry.
Yeah. No, and so I was very excited because I was like, finally, he's going to leave the Dursleys and he's going to be living with Sirius
Right?
Black. I
You
was like,
get such
thank
hope.
God. And then obviously it was all too good to be true. Like he was living on this high because something bad had to happen. And so now I guess he's like a fugitive still,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
He always has been. So it's
And he
like
will always.
not as-
And so like, yeah. What about what's his name? That the rat. Aren't they going to prove that he's the bad guy?
Well, they need to get him to prove
They
it.
gotta get him.
Son of a bitch. Why didn't they? It's frustrating. I wish they were
Yep.
able to catch that
How
bastard.
do you feel about Lupin? How do you feel about him as a
Yeah.
character?
How do you feel
Just
about Lupin?
I'm so sad. I loved him. He was a great character.
Right?
I like him a lot.
I know.
He's the best teacher. I love Lupin.
He is
I love
really
Lupin,
cool.
too.
I'm so sad that they had to fire him.
Yeah.
Because like he's a werewolf and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm
absolutely.
kind of bummed that we're gonna lose Lupin. You know, like we had an actual person who was pretty cool.
Yeah, as a Defense of the Arts teacher.
Yeah,
It's
real
a bummer
good.
that he's not teaching that anymore.
And I love the exchange that Hermione and Snape had because like her Snape was still kind of hurt about
Yep.
you know what was happening when he was picked on.
Fucking Snape.
And Hermione's like, "Come on, man! Like, let it go. Like,
Yeah,
how
it's
about
been-
you listen to them?"
Sincerely.
And he's like, "How dare you talk to me, Hermione?" And then he like, you know-
Every reread I have about Harry Potter, Snape pisses me off more because we're not like, well, I am. I'm the age of Snape in like roughly like he's like mid-30s.
Really? I thought he was like 45.
No, he's like in his
In the book, he's like 35. I think,
in the
or
books he's
40,
like in
yeah.
his 30s.
Okay.
And he's holding this fucking grudge from stuff when he was in high school, essentially. Not even high school, like middle school,
Yeah.
like age.
Yeah.
Excuse? Like, come
Get
on,
over
man.
it.
And
Yeah.
like essentially like abusing these fucking kids because he's just
He's
like
like letting it out. He's letting it out on them.
Poor Neville.
And he's letting it out on
Yeah,
them.
poor
It's just-
Neville.
It's just
But you could definitely feel like how angry he was when like little Hermione.
student-
Listen, Hermione,
Yeah.
don't get involved. This is my shit.
Yeah.
That you're talking about. You have no idea. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it in Snape's terms.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, like
for sure.
even
when
then.
they like listen, I can deal with their shit in class, but I've like you don't understand this history at all, Hermione
Yeah.
and Harry Potter. And they're like, no, you don't understand what's
Yeah.
going on right now, Snape.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's just a student's worst fear should never be their teacher.
yeah.
And that's why
No, poor
like
Neville.
Well, you know, it's Dumbledore,
like Snape,
Dumbledore's
Snape
kind
has
heart.
his arc, whatever. Snape has his thing. You will figure it out. Like you'll
Uh-huh.
see. But in book 3, just as a general, like how good of a teacher are you if you're like a student's sincerely like worst fear? You have a creature that digs deep down in your
Oh,
soul
when he faced
and
that
like
The
monster
and turns
Yeah,
into
that's
your
it.
worst fear.
Yeah.
It should never be a teacher.
Well, sometimes
Like-
it is a teacher in life. Sometimes in life, teachers or your coach can be your biggest fear. Like you're afraid to go in there to let them down.
It should.
Unfortunately,
But that's not what the case was. This
No,
was like a
it's just
straight
that
up
he was an
like
asshole,
this
that's
wasn't
why.
like, oh, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm afraid to disappoint somebody. This was straight up. This man terrifies the fuck out of me.
I don't know how he can be more terrifying. He can't. He like I've seen him growing more and more terrifying as the books go. I can't imagine him being more terrifying.
It's just he's a bad teacher. I think that's my opinion of Snape. Is that he's a shitty teacher. Should not be a teacher.
But Dumbledore gave him a
Dum-
chance. He's like,
Yeah, but Dumbledore
I will
doesn't
let
always
you-
do the
Dumbledore
right
does some
thing.
weird shit. I'm just saying.
I haven't
you could
seen it yet.
explain, especially
You'll see.
books 1, 2, 3. Even this, I'm still talking like within the frame of what Luis knows. Dumbledore should explain shit more in general. Don't go in the forest, but you let people go in the forest. The point system doesn't make sense because in the first year, like everybody's getting 2 or 3 points, and then all of a sudden, like later as it goes, like everyone just gets ridiculous amounts of points.
Yeah.
Dumbledore makes no sense.
He seems okay to me right now.
He's all right. Like,
He's
don't
got his
get, like
plan.
I wouldn't
He
mind
sees
him
all.
being my professor,
No,
my
I
like
think-
my principal,
I
but
feel
I'd
like
still
he
be
sees-
like Dumbledore.
I think he makes sense. I just think he's flawed.
what is?
Do
he
you know what I
for?
mean? Like he makes sense as a character to me. Like I never once was like, that isn't something Dumbledore would do. Like he's well written as
there's
a character.
the school is just bonkers too.
But yeah,
the
I mean the
is
school is just bonkers. Yeah, you're right.
Well, what's so well? Oh, we were talking about the time traveling thing. Which
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if you're introducing time traveling, well, now the next book has to be Voldemort getting that time traveling piece.
She takes care of it.
Who? Oh, J.K.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It becomes
unless it gets destroyed like the
it's
sorcerer stuff.
It's addressed.
Yeah.
It's addressed.
It is addressed.
Okay.
Remember I was saying it is addressed,
It is
but
addressed.
it's not.
It's got to be destroyed like the stone, or maybe it goes back in time on itself and is forever.
It's
gone.
addressed. That's
Okay.
all I'll say.
The next book?
Or
no?
Not the next one.
No.
But
which
it
one
will.
is it?
It is addressed.
Okay,
No worries. It'll come back.
that's a big
And-
yeah.
And yeah. But also, like, what the fuck, Hermione? What are you doing
Yeah,
with the
what are
time
you
traveling
doing?
device? This is why the school. Who's giving
Yeah.
the power to go back in time to
well,
a 13-year-old?
She's a good student.
She's an
It's
amazing
fine.
student.
No,
Hermione's
that's
the shit.
that's how
Of
they
all
keep
the
saying
students
it.
you give it to.
Yeah, that's the
she
one
give
you
it to
give it to.
Hermione. But logically,
If you go to a
what
council,
grown-ass person goes, you know what? I'm going to give this super powerful device to a 13-year-old.
if you give it to a council, like, listen, she's a great student. I know it's super powerful. Just give it to her. And they're
She's
like,
just
all
trying
right.
to do her things. Like, she's never had anything bad on her record. Yeah, she hangs out with Potter, sure. Like, but nothing like super bad on her record. And like all this, like, but still, like, 13. Without like supervision. Like, you'd think like if you were gonna do that, you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna travel with you, like as a
Right.
teacher, because you obviously could bring people with
Yeah.
you. It would be
Totally.
like there would be a teacher that would do this with you and hold a device. Like, it would not be in
That's-
the hands of the 13-year-old.
That's how it should be. Like, you need to come to my office.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
but
she
that's
would-
not as exciting.
Oh no,
No.
like practical, obviously for story purposes,
No,
awful.
yeah.
But in a practical
Right.
Hogwarts,
Like in a realistic way.
Right.
realistic way, she would go to like McGonagall's classroom and go, okay, I have to go to this class now. And she's like, okay, cool, here we go. Go to your class. And then she would never miss it. McGonagall would see that she's fucking exhausted and go, maybe we need to stop this.
Right.
There'd be supervision.
No.
Supervision with time travel. My God. 13-year-olds time traveling.
Also, my other thought about this, I guess it all made sense at the end about Crookshank. Is that the cat's name?
Yeah,
Crookshanks.
Crookshanks.
I'm tired of people putting cats in a bad light, and there
That's
was.
why Hermione is all about her.
I know, and
Crookshanks.
they were doing it again this time. I was like, God damn it! We had the other cat in the first book being an asshole. Now this cat's being an asshole. Everyone's putting cats as assholes, and I'm sick of it.
Crookshanks was the shit. And he
Well,
became
now-
friends
now-
with,
now I
he's friends
understand.
With, he's, what's
Now I understand. He was looking out
what's
for
Sirius's
everybody.
dog name?
He has a dog?
He's a dog name.
Oh, his dog name.
The
I don't
town was
remember.
calling him something.
Yeah.
Paul something.
Well, that's his name when he was in. What's his name when he was in the group with
Paul.
with the
There's prongs, Padfoot.
prongs? Padfoot. That's what it
Padfoot.
is.
I didn't understand prongs, but I guess it's a deer. I later
Yeah,
realized.
yeah.
That's why? Because he has antlers?
Yeah, prongs.
That's got to be a British
Got
thing.
big old
yeah,
antlers.
I think so.
That's like when Luke. It's an Australian thing, I guess. But when we're shooting our
yeah.
stuff. He had a bunch of shrimp.
And he called them prawns.
We're like, what did you call them?
Yeah, they're called prongs in
I know.
Australia.
I did know that, though. I feel like they
Prawns.
use that in America, don't
Not
they?
as much though.
Prawns are used. When
I feel like
imagine
prawns
a
are
prawn,
just big shrimp.
Yes, that's exactly what I think. They're
Yeah.
like monstrous shrimp.
Yeah.
Or prawns.
Which these were.
Yeah, they were super big.
They were big.
I'm so jealous you got to eat some shrimp. Did you guys have key lime pie?
Yes. We did.
We did have key lime
We had
pie.
two
It
different
was-
kinds of key lime pie.
Ooh,
It was super good.
it was really good.
It was
oh,
really
that
good.
makes
It
me
came
happy.
out. It was the last night we were there, and we went to a Mexican restaurant that was like we sat at the bar that looked out onto the street, so we got to watch
So many
all
people
the
were
drunk
falling.
people falling over and
Nice.
falling off their bikes
Nice,
and
nice,
like
nice.
eating, like
We
trying
saw
to.
a lot of ambulances,
We saw
too.
a lot of
Well,
ambulances.
yeah, it's Key West, guys.
Somebody had their legs turned
Oh,
backwards.
my God, yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty bad.
It
But
happens.
we were sitting at the thing, and we got they had a special where it was like you buy key lime pie and you get one slice, but it's basically two half slices of pie from two different places in the city.
That's great.
It is really cool. So you get to
Yeah,
taste
because you
two
know,
different-
like, of course, Key West is
different.
going to compete. There's going to be
Yeah.
all sorts of places that we have the best key
Yeah,
lime
right.
pie.
And
We
so they go,
have the
you
best
try
key lime
both and
pie."
tell us which one you like
Yeah.
best.
And like, it's the variations are some places are sweeter, some places are more tart.
And
Yep, that's
also
exactly what it
the texture of it.
Yeah,
was a
the
little
texture was
bit
different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got two of them, which was great.
Oh, that makes
And then
me
I-
so happy.
It was very
you
good,
guys.
yeah.
And then
Oh.
Shelby told me I had to get hogfish, so I had a hogfish.
Oh.
We both
Yeah.
had hogfish.
Yeah, it was good.
It's really good. Have you ever
I
had
don't think
hogfish?
maybe.
We went to a place called Hogfish.
Oh, if I've had it, didn't know I had it.
It's real good.
Next time you
it
guys
was
go to
so
Florida, we
good.
got to get you guys eating some alligator.
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
I'll eat it.
You got to do that next time.
Is it good?
I've had
Alligator.
it 2 ways. Well, I've had it 3 ways. I've had it in sausage form, which tastes like a fucking sausage. So it's like a.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I've had it in kind of like fried, like a popcorn shrimp kind
Oh,
of
yes,
situation.
those are
Okay,
good.
yeah, that
Which
sounds good.
tasted. It's weird because it's the texture of chicken. The texture of chicken, but the taste like a very mild fish.
Oh,
Oh.
weird.
So it's like having like a fish and chip with the texture of chicken.
I've eaten snake before, and it tastes like chicken.
Yeah, they're all kind of.
Yeah, it tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
It's a little. It's real
And then
tough.
I've had it just like sautéed, and it was like it's fine. It tastes like a fishy,
Mm-hmm.
fishy, tougher meat.
We had conch.
Oh,
they
that's
did
great.
have conch.
We had conch.
Oh, did you know they have eyeballs?
Yeah. Have you seen them?
Oh, it's
No.
so creepy.
Oh,
Look-
it's the
Guys,
best. I
look
feel
up-
really bad
Look
for them
up
because
conch
Oh my
eyeballs.
God.
It's so fucking
It's-
creepy.
It's my favorite. Well, I think they're adorable, and every time I
hate
think
it.
about
I hate it so much. I'm glad I eat them because I hate their eyeballs.
I think they're adorable. I think they're
on.
the cute. I think they're cuter than snails. I think they're cuter than
They're
like.
delicious.
Guys, so I have to move soon.
They're good.
Like out of my apartment, and we used to have these little. I think I've talked about these snails that are my apartment.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you moved them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sad when I. Oh my God, this is a conch.
Isn't that amazing?
Aw,
You ate that.
look at the little baby eyes.
Ugh. Fuck those eyes.
Yeah, go look it up if
Little
you can.
monster-like
If you're driving and listening to this,
creature.
don't look it up. If you're anywhere else, look it up.
Oh,
It's
weird
worth
ass
it.
creatures with the fucking eyeballs. and
C
like real eyeballs.
CONCH eyes.
Weird.
Conch.
But they're
It is like a
delicious.
snail.
Yeah, it's like a snail. It's like a
it's a
like
big
snail.
sea slug that lives in a beautiful shell.
Where are you gonna move?
I don't know yet. Probably in the same. I'm probably gonna stay in Burbank.
Stay in Burbank, yeah.
Oh,
It's-
really?
It's nice. Yeah,
You're
I
not
know.
getting closer to other things?
I want to, but it's just like it's nice in Burbank.
I know. I
It is
love
nice in
Burbank.
I like it.
It's
You
nice
know,
in
like we
Burbank.
can like if we're hungry, we can just walk outside and not feel endangered.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know.
That is nice.
But yeah.
That's exciting. We are at like 55 minutes, so we probably have time to answer one more question. And guess what?
We have the internet?
Internet's back up.
Boom,
We have
baby.
internet. Woo.
Boom, boom. Okay. Let's do. Oh, what's a film or TV show that you don't really care for the story, but still like because of some other aspect of it?
Ooh.
Oh. That's a good question.
So-
And I've definitely felt that feeling, but I don't remember it right now.
So I feel sort of this way about Valerian because I thought,
Oh, you
but
did
not
tell
the
me.
story. Yeah, we talked about this already.
But
Not
you
the
liked
story.
everything else about it.
The story was fine. The story was like just a normal sci-fi story. It was like just sort of regular. But the acting was so bad that everything else was awful because of the acting. But the design on that movie was amazing. Like
Right.
like the CG was great. The world that they created is great. Like I would love to do one of our stories set in the Valerian world because the world is so cool, but the story and the actors made it shit. So like you just take that
Yeah.
whole world and you just make other shit in it, and it's great. But it was because I mean the thing is he didn't make that. That
Right.
world was already created. It's a
Right.
comic, so it's like it was already created by somebody else. It's not like
I felt
he
like
made
that a little
it,
bit
but-
like about the Twilight series back in the day. I was just like, I hate
Wait,
all of this.
Are you talking about the vampires?
Vampires?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I
I didn't know
hated.
you were. I didn't know you watched.
Look, I
it.
read the first book and was like, this is garbage. And
Mm.
then I saw the first movie because I was like, let's pop culture.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is also garbage. I did not like it at all. But there's elements in it that I was just like, I never kept going.
like the
either.
idea of having vampires.
The
and
idea of,
werewolves and
like,
gra-
these-
like,
yeah, the idea of
inside
these-
of society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that they were around, that they like had to like figure out ways to like continuously like live in
Live.
society and all this stuff. Like that idea was really interesting. I like the idea of like whatever age you were bitten, you were kind of stuck at that age. But she never really went into depth about do you mentally stay at that age, or are you just like do you still mentally keep growing, but you're physically just at that age?
Right.
Because there's elements of that makes it creepy. Because if you're the main dude is 17
Right.
when he gets bitten and he falls in love with this girl who's actually 17, but he's like 100 and something years old. How does a 100 and something year old person find anything a 17-year-old says or does interesting?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
true. I
Like
don't
you could
know.
find him physically attractive, sure. If that was the case and that was the
guess,
premise,
yeah.
fine. That makes sense. You're like, but even then, creepy.
Super creepy.
Creepy. But like the world that she made, interesting. But again, but not enough that made me keep
Right.
going into
yeah.
it. So it doesn't really answer the question. But like that was what
Well,
as
no,
you were
that's,
saying that
that does sort of answer the
Yeah.
question. I think that you didn't care for the story, but you cared for an element of the world.
but not
which
enough
was
to be
the-
like, oh, I could still say I kind of liked it.
Yeah, they said some other aspect of the film or book or whatever. So yeah, you liked the concept of it, but it was not well executed.
Same with what's that series? It's like it feels Potter-esque, but it's not. Percy Jackson.
Yeah,
Percy
yeah.
Jackson has the same, like, I like this world. I like the school you made. It's very, I mean, it's a mimic of Potter, but I like the idea of having the Greek gods. If the children all had to go to this school, and like it was like a thing of like if you were claimed or not, and like all of that. Because I love like taking Greek myths and like reworking them into like a new thing. I really enjoyed that idea and concept. One of like the best ideas in that book is that Olympus and the entrance to Hades moves as society moves. So Olympus was in New York, and the entrance to Hades was in L.A.
Oh wow!
And like it was, the location was inside a music music studio.
Oh.
Like a music record company.
Right,
like that.
right.
You had to go into one to get into like the realm of Hades. Love those concepts.
Yeah, that's super
Because it's
cool.
always to the
That's pretty
west
cool.
of where Olympus is. So it's like little things. I'm like, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I like this. Percy Jackson sucks. Like as a character, like is just bonkers and dumb.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to be like 11 or 10 in the first book. He acts like he's like a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Like there's no like sense of like anybody acting their age. And I mean, mind you, I read this like forever ago. Like I read the first book and I was just like, damn, there's something like I'm sorry, spoilers. His mom like dies real quick in like the early things, and then he gets sent off to this school.
Yeah, I remember
there's
that.
no moment of reflection.
No,
Your
there's
mother
no
died.
moment of like self. Yeah, of like
Like his mom gets killed by like a
grievance.
fucking minotaur,
Yeah.
and then he goes to this school, and he's just like, "Well, I guess I'm in this school. I wonder who my dad is." Your mom just what the fuck?
Yeah, how are you? Yeah, so I read it.
Oh,
I
I
don't
was
remember
livid.
it.
I was so
like, at all.
mad.
But
Oh my
I remember
God.
I remember that moment, and I was like, "What do you? How? What?" Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
And then he gets claimed by like was it Poseidon or whatever, which Poseidon never claims his kids, and it was like, oh my god, one of the big three, like whatever, like good world, disappointing, just main characters and
How many
stuff.
books are there?
Oh, I don't know.
4, 3,
I
4?
stopped.
I know
I
they
tried.
made
I got
2.
halfway
Did-
through the second one and
Did
gave
you guys
up.
ever read Pendragon?
No, I don't know what that is.
No Pendragon fans.
No.
So there's a book series called.
I don't know what
That's
that
okay. There's a book series called Pendragon. It is sort of Harry Potter-esque. It's by I think DJ something. But I read the first book and I liked it, and apparently the series went on from the. I didn't read anything else after that, but the series went on. And everybody really, really liked it until like the last 2 books, and it just pittered out and failed.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
That's
And I'm like,
that's
God,
a worse
that
feeling, I think.
sucks.
That's
Because if you're like really into it and then it just
Gets
Hunger Games
worse.
is like a little bit like that for me. I really like the first one. The second one was okay. And
Have
the,
you guys
and the
read
third one
Maze
was
Runner?
just like, eh.
No.
No, I
Have
heard
you?
it's good.
I haven't read it either, and I haven't seen any of the movies. But I heard the first movie was just okay, but the second movie was good. I don't know. Somebody tell me.
I've heard the
should I
books were
watch them?
good.
Tell me if I should
But I
watch
mean,
them.
it's young adult, apocalyptic kind of like.
But I like that.
stuff.
I'm fine with that. It's
Yeah.
probably cheesy. That's probably the problem. It's probably
the
really
Insurgent
cheesy.
series also.
Oh, yeah. What
garbage.
was that? Yeah.
Like again,
concepts.
like
Garbage.
interesting concept,
Yeah.
but not that like it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I read the whole series. 'Cause I was
Oh,
like,
really?
I
Oh,
do
wow.
want to know. Like
What
it was
happened?
interesting enough for me to go, where's this going?
Yeah.
What is? And it's written like kind of like she wrote it like movies, so it's like it had like the arc and everything. And her world was really interesting and good. But then in the last book, she like expands the world to a degree where it's like, is this a story you actually really wanted to tell? Because this is super interesting. I don't care about any of these characters anymore that I'm supposed to care about. What is this world? Why weren't we here from the beginning? This
Oh,
should have been from the,
interesting.
like, because it's like her reveal at the end of the whole thing was this expanded, like it was like, oh, by the way, that all the things you thought was happening, it's actually this thing, and it's just like, well, why wasn't it this thing from?
Right.
This was so much better. The idea is that it's future Chicago, post-apocalyptic, whatever. Everyone is part of like 4 different categories. So you have your dangerous folks, your pacifist folks, your people who are like kind of like Amish, where it's like we don't need anything, we're very
Sort of
plain. You don't
monkish?
they're just more
Like Amish.
kind of like Amish, where they're self-sacrificing. It's like it's more about like for everybody else, and the
Commies.
and the nerds.
Right.
So you're either in those 4, and if you're not in those 4, you're kind of like outcasted, and you kind of live as like these like homeless people within the city, and the Amish people tend to take care of them. Like, oh, we're peaceful. We can't just let people starve, so they do that. You go to a school, and at the end of the school thing, they put you in a weird, fancy, high-tech test to figure out which one you are, because you are one. And if you're divergent, it's a big deal, like, which means you can fit into other categories. And if you are one of those, you get taken away. You know, where you go, you get taken away. Yeah. And of course, the main character, she's
a divergent.
She's a divergent. She like, and the person who's giving the test lets it slide. And it was just like, because even if you're decided you're in one thing, when it comes time to like be announced what house you're in, essentially, you could still pick whichever one you want. You have the freedom to pick.
Interesting.
Even though you know which one. So she goes with the adventurer ones, even though she was from like the Amish group. So everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? That's a big deal. And like her brother ends up going into like the nerd group, like kind of thing. So she goes, the whole first book is her adventures with like the hardcore, like they jump off of buildings and not everyone gets to stay in, and like it's nuts, and like she falls in love with this guy named Four because he only has 4 fears. Like they have a thing where it's like they put some drugs in you where you have to face your fears.
Right.
Oh yeah, I remember that. From
and
the
there's
movie.
one guy who only has 4. So and like that's like the cool guy. His story is actually more interesting too. Like he should have like the main character was so fucking boring. She sucks. It's just like, because she's supposed to be like the self-insert,
right? Where
like she's kind of made as plain as possible so the reader could be them.
Yeah,
but that's not fun for me. Give me a character to like
that's like interesting and has to make hard choices.
Yeah.
And is like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
And so she does that, and then in the end, skipping several books as there's revolts and blah blah blahs and all this stuff. It turns out that.
Spoilers
For the last Divergent series book. There's an outside world, and the people who were found as divergent in the beginning, when they're taken away, they're taken out to the outside world, because it turns out in the future there was big fights and blah blah blah, and so people started. They were like, okay, we need to make the world peaceful, so we're going to start changing people's DNA to fit these 4 prototypes in an effort to like make everyone like calmer or whatever, like like lean toward your traits so you don't like have all these conflicts.
Yeah.
And there were these test cities where they were doing this at, and Chicago was one of them. Almost all the test cities failed except for the Chicago one. But they only failed is because they would have revolts and things would go to shit, but they'd cover it up and restart the program. So that's why, like, there's sections of the city that were, like, destroyed and no one really knew why.
Yeah.
So that's super way more interesting.
Yeah,
and
that's super interesting.
And the effort of them, like, trying to... And they realized these experiments were wrong. So what they were trying to do while keeping them going, because they didn't want to just kill a bunch of people, whenever they would have kids and, like, they would find people that were divergent, they'd pop them out and be like, your DNA is more normal. You're not one of these, like, fucked up DNAs that we have. We're taking you out.
Oh.
And so the story was like the people who were running this thing saying like, this is a good experiment, we need to keep doing this, versus people saying, let these people out of this world, let them give them the options. Who gives a shit about their DNA? Give them the options, and like the fight between this chaos. That's what the story, like that's such a more interesting story.
So interesting.
Instead of like following this girl, and by the way, she dies at the end, so that's it. Anyway.
Oh shit.
She self-sacrifices herself to let everybody out and to let the people in the bubble like know what's their actual situation is. And she like sacrifices, which is just like, I remember reading and going like, okay, so she's, all right. I was like, why do I like? Okay, like why did I care? Like, did I care? And not really, because she was boring.
She's boring, yeah.
And 4 was way more interesting. His whole deal was he wasn't divergent, but he left his. It was supposed to be like biological versus environmental. Like that's his arc, where he innately was like a pacifist, but his father was super abusive. Like his father was a politician and was like abusive as fuck, like beating his mom, like beating him. So when it was an opportunity to leave, he left and went to the Bravers thing. Yeah. And so he completely fought against his own nature and DNA. And changed himself to avoid because of abuse.
Interesting.
Way more interesting.
Yeah.
Not the main character.
Weird.
Yeah. It's just like, what the?
That's a poor choice.
Poor choice.
Well, you heard it here first, everybody.
Divergent series sucks. That's why the movie's like, that's why the main character, the girl, she didn't go in the last movie. Like the movie, I think, ended up being like a TV thing.
Yeah,
Got real bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shailene.
Anyway.
But she got a show. She was on Big Little Lies.
Shailene Woodley?
She's in Big Little Lies.
I don't know if she was
Oh,
in Big
she's
Little Lies.
fine. Like she's
Yeah.
doing.
Oh
as
yeah,
an
that's right.
actress,
She's in Big Little Lies.
doing-
Oh yeah, she's great. I love her
Yeah.
as an actress. She's in what was that? Oh,
It's not her fault. The story, like
what
Yeah.
was that?
version
What was that
bad.
one movie? The one that like blew her up.
The John Green's shit.
Yeah.
No, I thought-
No, that was Cara Delevingne, the one I don't like.
I
The one
thought
who was
I
in
thought that was her. I thought she was Divergent.
Cara Delevingne. No,
No, not that one.
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's in The
Yes,
Fault in Our
you're
Stars.
both right.
Oh, got it. I was thinking Paper Towns.
That's right.
I'm
Yep.
thinking the
That's
other one.
funny.
Spectacular Now. That's what I know her from, and she was amazing in that.
I haven't seen that.
You need to see it.
I know. I hear.
So
it's
some
really
people
good.
didn't like it. Some people liked it. I say the reason why I like it is because it is the dialogue is more realistic than like any dialogue I've seen in a lot of movies because they basically improv the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like the story was set, but they just sort of talk. And that's really cool. It was like sort of a mumblecore movie. Have you ever seen mumblecore movies?
Yes. Drinking buddies.
Yeah. So it's sort of like
Oh,
that,
man,
but it's
Drinking
more.
Buddies.
It's better
That's
than.
That's a weird movie.
It's better
I don't know how I
than.
feel
Better,
about that
it's more
movie.
structured than that.
Right.
But I did really enjoy Spectacular Now. It kind of reminded me of Perks of Being a Wallflower with Emma Watson.
I'm at a place where I don't have time to watch. Like it's like Oscar season,
Yep.
and I don't have time to watch a lot of stuff.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try out this new experiment where I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but it's the only way I can watch stuff. I'm gonna treat movies like TV shows.
And like
And-
pause.
Yeah. And I
Interesting.
never wanted to do that, but at this point, it's the only way for me to watch.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna stop at at certain
Oh,
stopping
that's going to
points.
completely change your experience.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is, and I'm not gonna remember certain nuances that carry on to the next thing.
Yeah, and also
But
like
it's
the
like-
pacing's going to be very different for you.
I know, but I'm gonna try it out
Interesting.
because it's like
I
I
think
never
you can
have.
do that with Oscar movies though.
I can never do. I don't have like 2 hours to give now.
Yeah,
You know, and
almost
it's
3
unfortunate.
hours
Yeah,
now.
almost 3 hours. And so it's just like, okay, well, let's just watch the first half and then go to sleep and watch the next one later. You know, so we'll see how that goes. Because I don't want to miss out on these Oscar films. You know, because I feel like I haven't
You
seen
know what's
it
funny?
a lot.
I haven't seen most Oscar movies.
I haven't seen a lot of them.
I went and saw The Greatest Showman.
How was
Did
that?
you like that?
It was not a good movie,
Oh.
but I enjoyed it.
How was the music?
Okay, here's how I feel about that, real quick.
When did you see it?
Pop
Recently?
Culture Podcast.
Sunday.
Oh, this is fresh.
This is fresh.
Hello.
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 Not today.
Not today.
Every day for me. The movie was not great, but it wasn't like bad.
Was it like Moulin Rouge?
I like Moulin Rouge.
I like
better.
Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
You don't like Moulin Rouge?
So
I think it's
here's how I feel.
I don't
love that
hate
movie.
it.
I
It's
love
just
that
kind of like
movie.
it's just the movie to me.
Oh,
It's
I love
there.
that movie. Okay.
It's Moulin Rouge takes a stance and like is artsy it has a voice, right?
Okay.
Like it has a very distinct vision.
Right.
Yes.
And it achieves that vision. Even if you don't like that vision, it goes after that
Yes.
vision. The Greatest Showman, it feels like, and I don't know if this is true, it feels like the movie was built around the songs. And that they wrote the songs
Oh, that's
and
not
they were like,
good.
"Oh, okay, so here's how they structured out the movie and they were like, here's all the beats we're going to hit. You go write these songs. We're going to write the script and then we're going to plug the songs into the script."
Oh, that's bad. That's
Damn.
not
That's what
good.
it feels like. So when things all of a sudden would go into music, you're like, "Oh, I guess we're singing now."
Yeah.
It never felt like it was organic that it was
It was
doing
never
that.
motivated. Like,
You just felt like, and we're off to the next set piece. The story itself was, I mean, I saw it with Hannah, and Hannah
Yeah.
cried through the whole thing.
oh.
Aw.
And it made me tear up at the end.
Yes.
It was very much about family and like finding a balance
So
between
they figured
work
out like these
and
will
li-
touch the heartstrings.
It,
they know
it
how
was
to poke
really
that.
emotional, and the music was really emotional. The music was really modern, which was weird because everything else was old.
Right.
So, and they had an explanation for it, which was basically like,
it's like-
P.T. Barnum was ahead of his time, and so the music is not going to be restrained by like the
That
old
is
time
so
music.
funny that it actually is the P.T. Barnum guy.
Yeah,
'cause
P.T.
he was-
Barnum was,
he was
not a
dick.
good
fucking
person.
awful person.
He's
And in the
not
movie-
anything about family.
in
He's
the-
about like
yeah.
tricking people,
Exploitation.
and
in the
exploiting
movie,
them, and
in the
using
movie,
people.
they sort of touch on that a little bit, but they definitely like make him a good person.
Yeah, no, he's not a good person.
He's not a good person at all. But they definitely touch on it. Like some people are yelling at him for being a con man, and he's like, what's the difference between a con man and putting on a theater show?
Maybe not taking those super old blind women across the country,
That's the difference.
explaining,
Right.
claiming that she was George Washington's mom.
Yes.
Yep, that's the
and
difference.
taking
Maybe not-
advantage of them.
Maybe not doing that. Maybe.
Well, but his explanation for it is like
They didn't put that in the movie, did they?
they don't. No, they don't. But they did things like that, right? Where
Yeah.
where he was like faking things, and at one point,
But
his
it felt like
daughter
good-spirited,
even called
right?
him like
no?
yeah. At one point, his daughter even called him like a fraud,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Look, I'm not giving them truth. I'm giving them theater. All they want is a spectacle. I'm
Right.
giving them a spectacle. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. They just enjoy it." That was the explanation,
Right.
which in the movie was like, okay, I get it. And then you look at all the shit he did, and you're like, oh no, he was an awful person.
No.
But he
He was an animal
I
abuser.
think there's a drunk history
Straight
episode
up.
on P.T. Barnum.
There's what?
A drunk history.
there's also a
Which if you-
dollop about it. That's
Yes.
really
Yeah.
good.
There is.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love the dollop.
I
You should
love
guys
the
listen
dollop.
to the
Listen
dollop.
to
Listen
the
to
dollop.
It's so
It's
good.
so-
There's like 1,000 episodes.
Listen
Yeah,
to the
it's just a
Go to
good
the
history
P.T. Barnum
podcast.
one about the dollop. It's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Props.
Yeah, props to the dollop. They don't need our props. They're
No,
already,
they don't.
doing
They're totally
very well.
fine. They're
That's fine.
very
Yeah, they just did a tour of Australia. They got to
Yeah,
go.
they
over
I
got
there.
know. I was so
punked.
jealous when they did a tour of Australia.
Go listen to Dollop. It's good. Anyway, the movie was it knew how to pull emotion out of you, but it was hollow. It had
Right.
it had interesting messages. The music was really compelling, but it never felt like it was a full piece for me, which
it a
is
little
really
bit like
sad.
Across the universe in that way.
Across the Universe was better
Okay.
than this. I thought.
Oh.
I thought that I enjoyed Across the Universe more than I enjoyed this because I liked the song.
I need
like
to
the music
rewatch
better.
Across the Universe to see if I like it as
They-
an adult,
they
not
just
a college
felt-
girl who was just
Yeah.
like, "This is amazing."
It just felt like they were trying to do the music. The lyrics were fine, but the actual like orchestration and what am I looking for? Like
The structure was
the-
weird.
No, the production of the music felt like they were making songs to go on the radio.
Yeah, one of the songs is like I was listening to Spotify's top hits playlist on the way here to work this morning, going, you know what? What are the kids listening to? What's popular right now? And I don't like most of it, but one of the songs it was like Zac Efron. Was Zac Efron singing, and I was like, oh, this is from
Yeah.
that thing. And I got about halfway
Very
through
sure.
it, and I was just like, okay, this is kind of generic. And I just
Yeah.
clicked through.
In the moment, it's fine because you're getting the story, but like they tried to make it too much like each one was a single.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like each one was gonna be a radio single, and it had to be like super radio-y. My favorite parts of the movie, by far, and maybe I'm just spoiled, but my favorite parts of the movie, I'm probably just spoiled.
Spoiler alert.
Is this spoil? It's not a spoiler.
Okay,
Take
that back.
I'm spoiled as a human being. I'm spoiled, because Les Mis was not a fantastic movie, but it was a good movie.
I haven't seen it.
And the musical is incredible. The best part of that, the reason why it's so good to me, is because they sing everything live.
Yeah.
When you watch The Greatest Showman, there are moments where, and Hugh Jackman was in that too. There are moments when he's singing live, and he's like emotional, or I mean, any of the characters really are singing live when there's not a music track behind them, and they're just like they're either humming or they're like in a really emotional part, and they're singing, and you hear their real voice,
Yes.
and they're emoting, and there's like, I don't know, it's just real. And then with the minute they go into song, it opens up into like obviously studio recorded, which I
Yeah.
get. Like if it's this big show, which is what his things are, like it shouldn't necessarily be live. But I feel like if they did the whole thing live, that it would have felt so much better because
Yeah.
it would have felt like all of a sudden they're actually it
Yeah,
wouldn't have been like
performing.
divided it. It wouldn't have
Yes.
divided it so much into like this is our radio single and then this is back to the story. So I think they really should have done that.
'Cause
I
the
don't know
voice
if they
sounds
could have.
different
Yeah,
when
I
you
don't know
do
if they
that.
could have because the people they had to get were really like they had to get freak show people.
Oh,
So they had to dub a lot of voices and they had to do things
Oh,
that were
okay.
like, you know, they had to make people like there's one person who had to be the best singer in the world. She's a great actress, but she
Definitely not a singer.
not she was no. Zendaya was great.
Okay,
Zendaya
I
did
was like,
great.
Zendaya's a singer.
Yeah. No. This was the woman who plays like the woman that he sort of becomes infatuated with. It's not his wife. And she's supposed to be like the greatest opera singer in the world. And she's a great actress, but I learned later that she was like, I'm not the best singer. I can hold
Yeah.
a tune, but like if you're gonna hire me to do this, you got to
Especially
dub
for
my
opera.
voice. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it wasn't actually opera. That's the
Oh.
thing. They made it like
Yeah.
pop.
Oh, well.
So it's just weird. But anyway, like she was like, I'm not the greatest
Yeah.
singer, so you got to dub it. So that wouldn't have worked with her, but you still could have faked that. Like you still could have made it feel real as opposed to feel like it's in a studio. So anyway, long ran over. It's worth watching if you want to feel emotional. If you want like an emotional, and the movie is fine. It's a fine movie. You just can't go in expecting anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's not as good as like Les Mis or or any of those. So anyway,
It's no Hamilton.
it's no Hamilton.
Which Luis. Anyway.
We're an hour. We're an hour 20. We gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta finish Potter first.
Yep,
But
yep.
like,
Okay.
And then I'll get into Alexander Hamilton.
Hamilton. Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Are we waving this time?
Merry
I'm waving.
Christmas. Happy Halloween. Happy 4th of July.
We're waving.
Goodbye.